Niharika. This is my new YouTube channel and I'm going to talk about driver's license in Connecticut state. First, you have to choose a DMV, that is the Department of Motor Vehicles of your particular state. Why I am actually saying that this is only specific to Connecticut is because DMV has different rules for every state. So I'm just gonna drive through the elaborate procedure of how the driver's license is obtained in Connecticut state today. Step 1 of getting the driver's license is to get the learner's permit. Let's start with the list of actual original documents that you're supposed to present at the DMV before taking this learner's permit test. Initially, you're supposed to give your identification, which could be your passport, and you're supposed to give your residential proof, two of them. One, you can probably give your rental agreement or lease documents, and one more, if you're not actually having many residential proofs, I was asked by the DMV guys to just post a letter to myself and just get that letter as a residential proof, and that helped. And from the list of secondary documents, I was asked for marriage license issued by the government. So I presented my original marriage license because I'm a dependent right now, and also I was asked to submit this not eligibility letter for SSN. I am supposed to present the SSN, but which I am not eligible for. So I went to the SSN office and took an ineligibility letter which says that I'm not eligible to get SSN number. That is also supposed to be presented at the DMV, and yeah, that's it. And after that, I was just driven to box where I can actually look into it, and I'll see some figurines like you have stop boards and stuff, and there I was able to see few boards, and they pointed at one thing and asked like what actually this means. Like you have a hexagon, it's a stop sign, right? It's like 6 sides and it's red, so they just don't have that stop on it, but it just gives you the outline of the board and shape of the board and color of the board, and they ask you for what kind of board that is. And you have one more like pentagon, yellow color. It actually says that some school zone or pedestrians or something like that. So yeah, that's for the vision test. They also actually ask you if you have any like lenses or glasses or anything. It's okay if you don't wear, if your lenses are like your sight is very minimal. And later we'll be driven to to one more system where you can actually sit down and take your test with 25 questions. It is like multiple choice questions. You are supposed to navigate from one question to another, and the minimum requirement to qualify this test is to get 20 questions right out of 25. So it is like 80% of the total test. So if you qualify this, then you're actually sent to one more counter where you can where they charge you like $19 to post that card of learner's permit to your residential address, whichever you submitted right now. And yeah, voila, that's done. And after a couple of weeks maybe you'll be getting your learner's permit to your residential address, and after that, yeah, you're good to go ahead and practice, get behind the wheel. You're supposed to schedule your driving test for learner's permit beforehand online, or I guess you can also give a call to the DMV, whichever you're planning to take the test at, and you can schedule an appointment and make sure you're there before like at least 30 minutes prior to your scheduled time. So if you just Google, I guess you can find quite a lot of practice tests available. And there is also a government site like CTDMV app, which is actually the actual legit site which is developed for DMV in CT. I'm not sure for other states. And you can actually give some practice tests there, and you have all kinds of questions and you have sections, and you can give all the practice tests and make sure you'll be ready. And once you're done with the test, you'll be provided with a paper print of your learner's permit, and the original card of your learner's permit will be sent to your residential address. You started getting behind the wheel, and one thing you need to keep in mind is that you're supposed to be accompanied with at least 3 years of driver license experience. A person beside you should always be there, and you might get in trouble if you go alone on roads. Even with the learner permit, you're not supposed to leave alone all by yourself. And now the wait begins. You are supposed to practice for 3 months, and after you finish your learner's permit, you're supposed to wait 3 months to actually schedule a driver's road test. So don't worry, you have enough stuff to fill that gap up. So you're supposed to practice your driving techniques, which include parking and 3-point turn, and the left turn at the signals, and also the curbside parking. Sometimes the parallel parking is also being asked, and whether you're stopping at the stop sign and it's totally zero and you're not moving at all at the stop sign, and how you actually handle the motor vehicles or the cyclists beside you, and how you change the lanes, and how you're monitoring your mirrors, the center mirror and also the side mirrors, how you are monitoring your blind spots. Everything is considered under the test. So don't be nervous when you're giving the test, and we'll talk about that later. And one more thing you are supposed to do before going through the road test is to finish an 8-hour class regarding alcoholic driving and road rage. So every the driving school is providing this course. You can take that course, like one long course, 8 hours course all together on a single day, or you can just divide that into two 4-hour classes. And after finishing that, you're provided with a paperwork which actually shows that you finished this course, and this is supposed to be presented at the road test. So after getting all the things done, you're ready for the road test. Before starting your driving road test, your instructor is actually would actually need your original paperwork for all your for your vehicle, actually for your insurance and everything. And after that, he asks you to get in the car and start the engine, and he's gonna check for all the vital things. He'll ask you to step on the brake, and he'll ask you to honk and all, and he's gonna like check every if it's safe enough for him to get in, and then he'll get in the car and the road test begins. Road test, you can schedule the appointment like I've told before, and the instructor is going to ask you for very specific directions to be followed, and you're not supposed to ask him. Like what I've done is I've like asked him again the same question in the form what I understood. He was like saying just pull to the right of the path and just park beside the curb, is what he said. I just asked him the same thing, like, am I supposed to stop the car just beside the road and all? And he just did not listen. He just ignored me as if I wasn't. I was like not even there, and he just repeated the whole sentence again. So just don't get nervous. I was very nervous at that point, and I just accidentally hit the curb when I was parking, and I was disqualified for that. So my first straight road test was a failure. So if just don't worry if your driving test is you fail the driving road test for the first time. You can schedule a driving road test immediately in 2 weeks of time and get back to the same DMV, and you can do better. You'll do better. I was very low when I failed the test, but it worked out. So the second time I qualified the test and it was all good. So yeah, so that's it. You don't need to practice anything else on the interstates or stuff. You're supposed to do the only the basic stuff. You're not asked to go on the highways or the freeways. So yeah, you just need to be cool and keep your calm, and park at the right places. You're asked to reverse park sometimes, you're asked to parallel park sometimes, but that is very rare. So yeah, that's it. Then if you once you finish your scheduled road test, then the instructor takes you back, and of course you're supposed to present all the documents that you took from the class, and also the learner's permit that you'll actually handling, and also I guess you're supposed to take the original passport with you. And once you're done with the driver's test, they'll give you back the learner's permit, and they'll ask you to pay some amount, which your that card is supposed to come to your residential address. And one more thing that I found out was very specific to us is that if you are moving places, if you have an address change, yeah, the license is not going to be delivered to the new address, and it's gonna go back to the DMV. You're supposed to go back to DMV and take it, or just apply for a new copy if it's lost. It's the driver's license is not going to be forwarded to your new address, and we have to go back to the DMV a couple of times to get the driving's license. And yeah, that's it. I hope this video helped you to elaborately know what is the procedure of getting a driver's license in Connecticut state, and comment below if you need any further information. I'm gonna include the link of the app that you're supposed to take of the practice tests on, and also the link of the CTDMV where you can schedule the appointments and all the stuff. And all the best. Kill it. Please subscribe for further content. Bye bye.